of the Biddeford Saco Rotary Club, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to the grand opening of our first community housing project of this scale and magnitude. My name is Lucy Kay, and I'm the president of Biddeford Saco Rotary Club. Thank you all so much for being here today. We have an amazing morning of activity planned, culminating with remarks from this old house master plumber, Rich Trethaway. Rich is regrettably attending a funeral this morning, so his exact arrival time is a little bit fluid. But we are absolutely thrilled to welcome him to see our old house. Our club has been in existence for 97 years, and it seems like Richard has been on this old house just as long. The original and most successful home improvement program on television. He and Bob Wheeler were the program's original talent, beginning in 1979. For now, a little more about the amazing private-public municipal partnership that has led to this exciting day. 471 Main Street was functionally abandoned, and the previous owners owed the city nearly $18,000 in back taxes and sewage bills. The siding was falling off, it would snow in the dining room, and the neighborhood was at risk of losing a home to blight. Superintendent Jeremy Ray drove by every day on his way to work and was struck by an idea. The abandoned home was less than 1,000 feet from the Biddeford Regional Center of Technology, and despite its woeful condition, Jeremy saw a perfect educational opportunity. As a member of the Biddeford Saco Rotary Club, he worked with our board of directors to consider sponsoring a renovation of the house. They agreed, and the city deeded the property to the club for the duration of the renovation. A little over a year later, we celebrate the completion of this project. As Jeremy recently said, this project is a win-win-win. Our club has generously supported the COT's building trades programs for over 20 years. The school has constructed several modular homes, sold them for a modest profit, and the funds have supported both the Rotary's community work and the Center of Technology. The benefits of a project like this are even greater. Students get real-life, on-the-job experience in a challenging build environment. The neighborhood is improved by our work. Volunteers and those who have donated services and materials feel proud of the investment. The city has paid the back taxes, and when the home is sold, it will return to the tax rolls. Jeremy is right. It's a win-win indeed. Our charitable giving committee has invested in community projects ranging from scholarships to home heating assistance to emergency dental care for senior citizens. The sale of this remarkable property will help support our work. Proceeds will also directly benefit students in the very programs that help make this project happen. Building trades, electrical, plumbing, and drafting programs at the Center of Technology. Rotary International is governed by guiding principles, including, and I quote, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. I would be remiss if I did not recognize the unyielding financial, spiritual, emotional, and unwavering support of Jim Gadbo. Jim has essentially project managed the house from the beginning. He's arranged work parties and called in favors from every trade within 50 miles to donate materials and services ranging from paving to countertops to painting. He worked hundreds of hours on projects ranging from demolition to landscaping to, of course, plumbing and heating. His energy is limitless, his optimism boundless. It is not a stretch to say that we simply could not have done this without him. Jimmy. We all love you, and the community is infinitely better because of you. Thank you. Before we break, and I'd like to thank Owen's Farmhouse in Kennebunk for putting on such an amazing spread. I'd also like to use this opportunity to announce our next project just down the road a few feet. In a matter of months, this process will start again, and Jeremy's model of everyone wins will be renewed once more. We are thankful to the COT instructors, city councilors, students, vendors, service providers, and Rotarians who work so hard to make this a reality. But before we turn the key on the next project, let's enjoy this one. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your meal today. Thank you. I want to introduce Jeremy Ray. He is the superintendent, and here he is. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy, for that wonderful introduction. It was a great bio. Christmas to Rhoda for you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending. This is a very special day for us, as we had the opportunity to start a new project with the assistance of many, many different people, and I'd like to thank some of those. First, I'd like to give a thank you to the Biddeford City Council. As we started with this idea, the city took a little bit of a risk by turning over a property to the Rotary and the school department based on a little bit of a vision and a little bit of a dream. And so I thank them for their commitment to the school department and really changing the way that we do business here at the Center of Technology. In addition, I really have to say a big thank you to Paulette Bono, who 2 years ago became the instructor here at the Center of Technology. Director, sorry. Wayne's the instructor, Paulette's the director here. But I will say that, so now you got me off topic a little bit, but I will say that I've been lucky enough to work here in Biddeford going on, finishing my 5th year, and the other night watching the award ceremony at the Center of Technology, I sent Paulette a little text and said, one of my better decisions since I've been here was having Paulette come to the Center of Technology, because her leadership is outstanding, and so I appreciate everything you do. I'd like to give a big thank you to Wayne Hapgood. I know that at the beginning of this, Wayne and I had some conversations about how this could all possibly work. And Wayne and his students have really come a long way over the 2 years. And it was, Wayne, it was exciting to see the transformation as you as an instructor over the course of this, from our first conversation to watching you on the news last night. I thank you for your hard work. In addition to Wayne, I really need to thank Bill, Ed, and Brad for their program. Really, one of the ideas here is that when we take on a project like this, how do we get all of the different programs involved? And my hope in the future is that we can continue to expand, and maybe someday we'll be lucky enough to get a house that has an old car in the garage that we can work on. And as long as we can work towards including every program except for our medical occupations program, we'll be doing very well. We want to keep them away. I think one of the highlights of this is that when you look at a project like this and you look at what we've done here, you have just the perfect collaboration between community volunteers, spearheaded by Jim. I don't know where he's gone. He was sitting right there. He's probably working, or he's rolling. Some more grass has come in, and Jim's over there rolling out grass, probably. But you have this project that started with city council, school, and community, and we have a situation where that house was an eyesore. And when you drive by today, and over the last week, just driving by every single day and saying, wow, this is amazing. And then looking at at the front cover of the Portland Press Herald this morning, or looking online and saying, I can't believe that one, our students put this together, and two, that the city of Biddeford got recognized on the front page of the paper for such a positive thing. Those are good days when you work in Biddeford. What this teaches to our students, you guys are a huge part of this, and we thank you because you have an opportunity to learn about commitment, perseverance. I can't imagine that any of you who walked in there on those first couple of visits thought that this was going to be the end of the result. It was a little bit scary. I certainly did not enjoy going down those basement stairs the first time. But we're very proud of you, and I'm hoping that you also learned something from all the people who volunteered what community service means, and I know that you guys will take that out into the workforce, and for anybody here who's looking for some fine students to hire, they're off to a good start. So thank you very much, students. This project, being house number one, has been such a wonderful experience. We were able to go back to the city council, and as you all know, house number 2 is on the other corner of the driveway. I guess it's either good news or bad news that we're fortunate enough to get tax acquired properties around the school, so the transportation piece is very easy for us and makes these projects doable, but we're excited about the next steps for house number 2. And that means that as soon as Jim gets working on that piece, which I know he's already in there, it's my job to start looking around to see where house number 3 comes from. And finally, to the Rotarians here, a couple of years ago I joined Rotary, and I would have to say that it has been one of the best, another great decision is joining a group of hardworking volunteers that are committed to the students at the COT, the students in Biddeford, and the surrounding communities. It's really a special thing that you do time and time again for our students, so thank you, and thank you for being part of this project.
I'm a little shorter. So, thank you all for coming. On behalf of COT, I want to thank Superintendent Ray for supporting us and also for supporting me throughout this process and many processes that we've been through. I always kid with Jeremy that he's really good with money, and just tell me what you want me to do, I'll make it happen. Provide me the money, I make it happen, and that's great teamwork. I also want to thank the Rotary members that have contributed to this project and your ongoing support for our school, City Council, and all of the contractors and other citizens that contributed as well. I also want to especially thank Mr. Jim Gadbu, who has been a driving force behind this project and just an incredible man, and I can't thank you enough. I want to also really highlight our instructors. This project started with our engineering students led by Mr. Ed Driscoll. He was here earlier and he's back in class because our afternoon session has started. But his students redesigned the floor plan to make that house much more livable and much more in a contemporary fashion than what it was if any of you entered that place when it first started. Mr. Hardy, he is our new plumbing and heating instructor. And in terms of not wanting to use our MEDOC department on our projects, he is at OSHA training this week, so he couldn't be with us. And Mr. Gervais in the back, he is our electrical instructor. Our day electrical students worked on this house, but we also, I'm also the director of our adult education program in the city, and we had adults working from our electrical program at night on the house as well. And of course, I cannot thank Mr. Hapgood enough. He carried the brunt of this project, and very early on in the project, when we were talking about doing this, he was in my office and he said, how are we going to do this? I mean, how are we going to make state mandate standards, the district mandates, and respond to any of the community requests that we have? And I looked at Wayne and I said, Wayne, we are going to fly this airplane while we put it together. So strap on and get ready for takeoff, because here we go. 2 years later, you see the end results of a lot of hard work, planning, and a lot of care that went into making this project what it is today. We also, with the help of the contractors, our other students, Rotarians, made this project happen. And that's what COT is really all about. We connect curriculum to career to community. Connection is the key word. And this project has allowed our students to own their own learning, to take risks, to step out of their comfort zone, and to realize that they can do something. They will drive by this house and know that they had something to do with it, that they are making a difference in our community, and they also made a difference for the person who purchases the house. Their high school experience has been elevated, and their learning was exciting and relevant, and we answered the question that they all ask, why do we have to learn this? I'm very proud of our students and our instructors who made 471 Main Street what it is today. We brought an abandoned house back to life. We are prepared and ready to take on the next project. We're trying to make our community a better place, one house at a time. I'd like the students that worked on the house to please stand. And I think we need to give them a big round of applause. Now it's time for Bill Caney. Oh, Jim, I'm sorry.
You first.
Sorry, Jim.
I'm a little bit taller. Well, Paulette talked about connection, and she's absolutely true. But I'm going to talk about a word that I believe is more important. Sacrifice. That's what it takes to build a community. This project's collaboration is a true sign of sacrifice of so many to better our community, to build stronger youth. I am so proud of the outreach of the trades community with the time they gave to this project. All I had to do was ask, and the many stepped up to the plate with open arms. Being in the trade for many years, we've watched the decline in young workers and the decline in skill sets required to be in this industry. To build a strong future, we all need a sustainable workforce that can perform. This project I hold very close to my heart. I saw so much sacrifice from our community to make this happen for the students of the COT. People from north of Portland to south of Kennebunk, sacrificing their time in probably the busiest year I have ever seen to better our youth. Each trade who worked here had a common discussion about the lack of skilled labor available, all wanting to make a difference, offering materials to in-kind labor pouring in from everywhere. This house will be sold, the proceeds used to further education opportunities at the COT, and for a new project at 518 Main Street for the construction trades. Supporting our youth is my main focus and very important to everyone's future. As I stand here now in front of you, I reflect on the so many young people who started off on the wrong path, making very poor choices. We all have the ability to help youth by mentoring them and helping them make good choices in life. I don't want to hear the common story that I heard last night from my friend Richard Trethui. He told me about a 24-year-old named Patrick, who's friends of ours, a kid. He overdosed last night fighting addiction. Richard cannot be here today with us because he's spending time with that kid, spending time with that family. This brings me back to why we need to support our youth in many ways, using athletics, after-school programming, and direct mentoring. These kids need our support. Working together, as we did on this project, sends an important message to our youth that we care and we want them to succeed in life. I will always remember the people that made a difference in my life. Most of them all came from the silent generation who truly knows what it means to sacrifice for our future. What we have for material possessions means nothing. What we can do is create purpose for those in need, which is priceless. Sacrifice, and we all can make a difference. Thanks to all of you for taking the first steps in building a stronger community. I am a very proud friend. I'm very proud to be a friend of all of you who helped support me on this project. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bill Caney. I was the president of this club last year, and I have the privilege today of giving out some awards to some people and businesses who have supported this house. I first want to how many of you students over there are seniors? Put your hands up. Just the one? All right. You know, I think that maybe for all of you students, but especially the one senior in our midst, you know, I think it's really important for you to take a look at this list of these contractors, suppliers, individuals who helped make this house possible. All these businesses, all these individuals have succeeded in the trades, and I hope all of you, if that's the path you choose, are successful as well. But what you need to remember is that every single one of them gave back, and they continue to give back to this community. So we hope that you guys are going to be inspired to do the same thing when you get out there and you start working and so you can give back as well. You know, our club frequently hears this quote when we bring new members into our club. It comes from probably someone you guys don't even know, Tom Brokaw. News journalist. And what Tom Brokaw said is, it's easy to make a buck, but it's a lot tougher to make a difference. And hopefully you guys will all remember that, and you guys will all help make a difference when you guys get older and the Rotary Club is still doing houses here in Biddeford or in Saco. So thank you all for your work on this, and just remember that one life's lesson, if you will, because I think it'll serve you well. It certainly has served our club and this community well. At this point, I'm going to thank all of the businesses. If your business is here, we would appreciate it if you would come up and receive a small token of appreciation. Jim, if you want to be up too to shake everybody's hand. And I'm going to do these in the order in which they're on this particular poster. we sort of broke out the businesses that contributed to the project based upon the size of that contribution. It may have been in terms of work, it may have been in terms of money, it may have been in terms of materials, or a combination of all of the above. So the first one on the list is Anderson Insulation. They provided spray foam insulation for the entire house, which was an incredible contribution. I don't know if anybody from Anderson is here today or not. If not, we'll make sure that they get their plaque. The next is BRC Bedard Roofing and Construction. They provided the roofing and some siding efforts for the house. Is anybody here? Obviously, all of these people are all working. It isn't raining today. So anybody here from Bedard Roofing? If not, we'll make sure they get theirs. How about Coastal Wind Air? We have someone, they helped us out. Donating the boiler and the mini split to help make this house comfortable and to make it part of the reality it is. So thank you to Coastal Wind Air. All right. So many pictures of Godbout. I mean, the next, Maine Granite and Marble, are they here? No, they did the countertops in the kitchen, and I assume probably in the bathrooms as well. Again, a tremendous contribution to the house. The next, Moody's Nursery. I don't see Rob here today. Rob is one of our fellow Rotarians. They helped with some difficult tree removal and some of the excavation and landscaping work around the house. Spang Builders. I know they did a lot of work. They helped move a lot of the earth and a lot of the around the property. A huge help to us along the way. I know Jim mentioned them many, many times. Thank you very much. The next, Tremblay Cabinets. I don't know if Diane or anyone from Tremblay is here. They do tremendous custom cabinetry work, and they did all the cabinets in the kitchen, in the bathrooms. Unfortunately, I'm guessing they're in production, so they're not here. So. And of course, you can tell this was headed up by a plumber. We started with the master level, now we're down to journeyman. Distinctive Tile. There's someone from Distinctive Tile here. They did some of our flooring work, the tile work in the house. Again, I'm hoping everybody's had an opportunity to see how beautiful this came out. And again, all these people made this possible. Kevin Bedard Construction, is someone from Kevin Bedard here today? No? How about Quality Floors? Are they here today? No? Again, we'll make sure they all get their plaques. Kevin Bedard, let's see, Kevin poured the garage slab for us. That's materials and labor. And as far as Quality Floors are concerned, they did some of the, they reclaimed some of the wood floors and did some other flooring for us in the upstairs of the house as well. Then we get down to the apprentice level. Biddeford Painting, I know that they're here, a fellow Rotarian. Help paint the house out for us. It's nice to get that professional touch when you do all that work. The next, Boise Cascade. My suspicion is they're not here, but
David could take this one home. Come on, Dave.
They donated the trusses for the garage, which was a huge help.
You can stand up for the Paul family. Dave Ross.
The next, I know we got some Deering Lumber people here, helped us out with some materials, and we see CD in the back pointing to Danny Lasky to come on, CD. Deering Lumber has been a huge supporter of Rotary forever. So this is just the last in many, many contributions that Deering has made to help Rotary. They've helped us for years with sheds at our auction. CDV, I want to thank you very much. Next, I know Keith Jakes is here somewhere. You know, when you get a property tax acquired from the city, the title is no good. You have to fix the title. So thanks to the hard work of Keith Jakes, is he still here? Yeah, he is. Keith got the title fixed so that we can now sell the property, which was really kind of important. His biggest accomplishment was finding the former owner in California. K&S Overhead Door Company. They did the garage door for us. Again, a significant contribution. We want to thank K&S, and we'll get them their award. Camco Supply. I think they did drywall for us. Is Camco here? No? All right. Nate Libby Masonry. Is Nate here? No? Again, they helped us out with, I think it's some work in the foundation to further support the crumbling foundation, which is now perfect, incidentally. For you real estate agents out there on the disclosure sheet. Parent Drywall hung the drywall for us. Someone from Parent here. I want to thank them for all their efforts. Southern Maine Builders. Anybody here from Southern Maine? Southern Maine, let's see, what did they help us with? They did framing for us. Again, huge help. Ventura Staircase and Wood Turning. They did the staircase for us. Are they here? No, they do tremendous work. It was really, a privilege to get them to come in. A lot of these companies, to have them come in was incredible. Builder Supply, is anyone from Builder Supply here? I know the mayor's here for the Biddeford City Council. Again, they are the ones who made this all happen. Without their cooperation in transferring this property to Rotary, this would not have happened. Is Mayor Cassidy still here? Oh, he left? Okay. Now, you always need guidance. Yes, we had Jim Godbout, but you got to have some other people who know what the heck they're doing. And thank goodness we had Carl Goodwin to help steer the ship as well. Carl, come on up. You can't have a house without doorknobs and locks. There's Dupuis Hardware here. I want to thank them for their contributions to the house. Hydronic Alternatives. And Jim told me what they did here. All right. Wow. That's right. They did some of the heating system materials for us, the radiators. And I'm told they also cook the pizza. And while we're talking about pizza, I want to thank Doug Kay for being here to eat all the extra pizza that was left over. Jackson Tree Service, I don't know if anyone from Jackson Tree Service is here. They helped us with some of the more dangerous trees that Jim did not dare take down himself. James Bullard Construction helped us with some of the finish work, especially around the front, to make the curb appeal what it is.
Where's Sarah?
Sarah's here, right? Did she leave? Okay, so all right, we'll get that award to them. Main Street Design helped us with some of the design work in and around the house, including picking the colors, so we didn't do it. That's probably a good thing. Norman Ruck, if you notice, the pavement was down. So we want to thank Norman Ruck for contributing his labor and time to put the driveway down for us. PNC Insurance. Is anybody here from PNC? you have to insure a project, and PNC paid essentially all of the premiums on all of the insurance we've had since this project started. Very significant contribution. We want to thank them for that. Pam and Joe Carden. No, not going to be here. Okay, we'll get them theirs. Ray Dussault Masonry, again helping out with some of the stonework around the property. Scam and Sod, that instant lawn does not come up from seed. So I want to thank Kurt Scammon for that. And Taylor Reynolds for supplying things we didn't have. So we want to thank them as well. Again, all significant contributions. We hope that you kids learned from some of those contractors when they were around. Perhaps not what they were saying, but what they were doing. You know, we want to thank you all for being here today. I mean, this is a very significant contribution. But of course, the thank yous are not over, because there's one last thank you, and that is for the person who truly made this all happen. And I think the only thing I have to say about Jim Gutbout is there's already a dumpster at 518 Main Street. We haven't sold this freaking house yet, and you already got a dumpster over at 518 Main Street. He never stops, and if he did stop, we wouldn't be doing this today. So Jim, we want to thank you for everything you did. Really,